Everyone writes their endearing Christmas letters telling you what's been going on over the year, or Christmas cards. And I think that's a wonderful gift to let other people know what's happening in your life and to share those events with them. I would like to offer something maybe a little bit different that could also be sent as well, but it starts with a point of our faith. And the sentence is started like this: when God comes first, we ... And you get to fill in the dots. Now, interestingly enough, what would you write? When God comes first, we, or I, and fill in the rest of that line. If we listen to Isaiah carefully today, Isaiah tells us that we embody this passage because we, you and I, each one of us, carries on the work of the prophet. And on this third Sunday of Advent, Gaudete, which means joyful, this helps us to focus, reminding us, as we are told by the prophet, rejoice heartily in the Lord. In my God is the joy of my soul. That's part of those dots following that opening line. And St. Paul tends to build on the words of Isaiah, given the understanding that each of us must first place our trust in God, our total trust in God. And when we place that, then that opening sentence begins to take shape. And it's not just something that will be one paragraph, one short paragraph. I guarantee it will be much longer than that. Because what you understand about the way you live your life in that regard is going to come out, it's just going to flow forth. And it's going to be wonderful because it's grounded in that experience of God where we're told, today especially, rejoice always. Rejoice always, no matter what. Be able to rejoice because God's in charge. Pray without ceasing. Each and every day we gather for communal prayer, but also private prayer. To take time out of your busy day just to say hi to God and get acquainted once again with that ability to rejoice. What is God doing? How is He present in your life? And in all circumstances, give thanks. Now that might be a bit more challenging, to be able to look beyond some of the things that are going on in our life and able to say, okay, God, I can give thanks for this. There's something in this that I'm supposed to know, I'm supposed to learn, there's a message. Well, open me up. Open my eyes, my ears, and my heart so that I can take and benefit from what's going on in my life so that I can rejoice and I can give thanks. Now, in the Gospel today, John the Baptist comes from God. And he comes for testimony. And he's very clear about who he is and what his mission is all about. And he tells them very truthfully. He doesn't lead them on. He doesn't pretend to be something he's not. And I think that whole approach of being honest and forthright is something that we too can look at in our lives when people come up and they want to know who we are and what we're about and what does it mean to live a Christian life. We can certainly tell them what it means and how we strive to live that out. So all the things that we hear today are just encouraging words for us as we continue on in our journey through Advent. John came so that what? All people might believe through him. Not because of him, but all through him. And remember when Mary goes to visit Elizabeth? What happened when Mary got to Elizabeth's house and she stood in front of Elizabeth? Elizabeth says, "Who am I that the mother of my Lord should come to me? Because at the sound of your greeting, the baby leapt in my womb for joy." And so that particular relationship, that joyful relationship of the two cousins, was there from the very first time that Mary went and spent time with Elizabeth. And we know she spent time with her and then returned to her own home. So John the Baptizer clearly, in a very wonderful way, shows himself to be an evangelizer. He's there to evangelize the people. And he does so with great humility. There's one among you that you may not recognize, and him I am not worthy to undo the strap of his sandal. How much reverence, how much humility was in that statement, because John knew full well who Jesus was and what he was about. And he tells us later on, he must increase and I must decrease. So, gathering all of that together and putting it into a particular context, and I'm going to go back and use Pope Francis, because Pope Francis has been giving us some wonderful insights as to who we are as Christians and how we live our life. Pope Francis, in his apostolic exhortation, The Joy of the Gospel, says the role of the evangelizer belongs to all the baptized. So it's not just for a few, it's for everyone. The role of the evangelizer belongs to all of the baptized. That's each one of us sitting in this room tonight. And so, what does that mean? How will that manifest itself in our life, in our work, in our relationships? And Pope Francis calls us to mercy. And he said mercy leads to joy. And mercy is the greatest virtue, since all the other virtues revolve around it. So mercy, think about the mercy of Jesus. Think about his public ministry. Think about the way he treated people, and he was always there to meet their needs. Think about mercy in that regard. And then look in the mirror and look for the image of mercy in yourself. And what does that mean? How are you merciful within your families, among your friends, in the church community, with strangers you don't even know? Because mercy is that wonderful virtue that gathers all of the rest of them together. And as Pope Francis said, mercy is not an option to those who claim the name of Christ. It's not a suggestion. It's not an option. It's a given. If we're going to claim the name of Christ, then mercy has to be at the heart of who we are. The effectiveness of each of us as an evangelizer, filled with joy, will be made known in the formation of that sentence that we began with. When God comes first, we, and you fill in the blank. Amen?
Amen.